Do trios work? Welcome back to After Hour Happy Hour. We are your chaotic but cathartic co-host. I'm Vicky.
I'm Jamila.
I'm Sharon.
Welcome back to our very last episode of our season. If you didn't hear from the beginning season, are currently doing seasons, and this is the last episode for this current season that we're at. So this episode is a little about like our trio best friends to us doing this podcast thing together, but also current life updates before we end off the season.
We also asked you guys on Instagram to drop any questions you guys had for us. So if you don't follow us already, go do that. But we'll be answering some of your guys' questions today. And I'm also in my lobby. And also, I'm going to stay very still because my mic might disconnect. So
we're just running through a bunch of tech problems at this point.
So first question we have is, do trios work? Should we answer 1, 2, 3?
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
As you can tell, that's why we have a podcast together, and that's why we haven't ripped our brains out from doing a podcast together.
Yeah, I feel like we would not have lasted this long and done all that we've done if there was not 3 of us.
Or ultimately, what I learned from what making trios work is that you just have to be transparent, or you just have to be like truthful with each other and know that like they don't come from a place of like bad intentions. I feel like that's what I learned as to why I think our trio works. Because for the most part, I think we're like pretty truthful about how we feel, and we don't necessarily fight or anything. We just try to talk through any feelings or problems that we're having with each other, if we're having any.
Yeah, trios work. I'm only saying that trios work because we work. And we work because we just so happen to get along really well and have similar morals and values. And even if we don't, then we can talk about it.
We also communicate really well, I think. We've definitely had a lot of conversations, and like even if we're different, we kind of talk it out and agree to disagree, or just kind of be like, oh, that's just how you are and that's how I am and it's fine. So yes, they do work.
Okay, we're gonna hop over to Instagram and I'll just choose some questions. But the first question is, how do you handle friendships while being long distance with each other?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, I think in the beginning, Jam just, not that she tried, but I think she just is/was the type of person who texts in the group chat. So she'll like say random things or whatever's on her mind, and then that'll eventually like lead to other conversations. And that honestly helped just because Vicky and I tend to be people who don't really text that often to anybody in general. And then that just led us to keep in touch more. And then we started a podcast, which then we have to talk more. And through podcasts, we have deeper conversations, which we learned about each other even more. So that helps. But I guess if you don't have a podcast, you just gotta talk, man.
Okay, wait. Here's the thing. I don't text often to anyone else. I just text often in our group chat. Like to anyone else, I'm basically I don't really reply unless I have to. Sorry guys. I'm just a bad texter. But then even now, like I think we got really, really busy, like all of us. But I still, for the most part, am still the one who texts the most. Just like take this past week, 2 weeks, it's all just blue text, and you get like a random other people.
It's because me and Sharon were together for a little bit, and then also like we've been really bad at replying to each other in general. So
yeah. But like even in this situation, since we are long distance and if we didn't have a podcast, sometimes there's something I want to say and then I'd be like, oh, maybe that's not that important, or that's not worth texting about. So then I just won't do it, versus you should, because that again like just helps you keep in touch with the other people and sometimes sparks different conversations, which is I think Jam just like speaks her mind. So like Jam's kind of like the good mediator kind of person, you know?
yeah.
It only works if the other people reply, guys. If it's only you talking to yourself, you just eventually get tired and you just don't do it.
Jam's tired and she's not doing
shade
it
at us right now because she's been texting and we're not responding.
Sorry. We'll be better. This past week was just
chaos.
Something else,
Yeah.
man.
I think before we started the podcast, because I mean, we went to COVID was March, and we didn't really start talking about podcasts until August. I think the times between then, we would just, I forgot if we did like weekly or every 2 weeks, but we will kind of always try to hang out on a Friday or someday just to catch up, like a Zoom call and stuff. So I think that definitely also helped. continue what we did in college, but just virtually. Not that like anything was exciting happening in our lives, but it was just good to catch up, to just kind of continue what we did in college.
Honestly, if you treat a friendship like how you would a relationship, you guys could essentially do literally the same things if you're long distance, like watch a movie together, play online games, things like that.
You know, most of our friendship has been long distance at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder when we'll ever be permanently in one location together.
Well, you're not moving out anytime soon, and Jam is staying in LA for at least another 2 years, so
I just think the closest I think we could all be together is probably LA, maybe New York, but I feel like LA is more likely at this point.
Yeah, I don't think I'll live in LA.
then New York it is.
Yeah, let me not say never, but it doesn't seem likely for me.
Next question is, how have you dealt with conflict? Is it over small or big issues?
I feel like honestly, in our kind of these 2 years of friendship, we've only had one big conflict that happened kind of recently, like this year. But I feel like leading up to that, we never really had many conflicts, or we have feelings or thoughts, but we never voiced it out until that big conflict that we had.
Are you talking about Hidden in the Clouds, or are you talking about the one when I visited you?
The one that was at my house?
Oh, okay. Then two.
Wait, which other one are you talking about?
One I would categorize as conflict would be when I visited the Bay, but then the other one would be Head in the Clouds, or like miscommunication.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
that one. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
When Sharon visited us in a bay, we had like a very big conversation about content creating and specifically this podcast and where we were seeing it going. And it was more a conflict because we don't see eye to eye on where this is going for us. And it was a big discussion. We also briefly talked about 88 when we did music last month, where we had our first big fight almost because it was a miscommunication. And then we were just like angry at each other. And then we cried it out and it was okay. So I guess those are the two times I would say. But in general, we're pretty good. We don't like walk away mad because we talk about it. And I think we know each other really, really well. So then when we get upset or when we're mad, we're still able to step in the other person's shoes and we're like, okay, I get why you're upset, but like, let's talk about it.
See, I was gonna okay, when we have to talk about something, I agree that we communicate well, but I would disagree on the fact that we're good at bringing things up because it's only Jam. Because Vicky and we don't like to bring up things, and I'm sure Jam doesn't either, but she's more okay with talking about it because it's gonna be better for us at the end versus Vicky and I don't. The bigger conversation that we needed to have, Jam brought it up. Even though we all knew that it was something that we probably needed to talk about eventually. So again, Jam's just the middle person who's good at communicating,
Yeah.
I guess. But how do you deal with it? I think you just know, if you know at the end of the day that it's going to be a conversation that needs to happen and it's probably going to be best for the group. Once it does happen, then it probably should happen. Like someone needs to grow balls and
Call it
talk
out,
about
yeah.
I mean, the only reason why we even talked about it was because we're filming a Truth or Drink. And then we also all had a few shots in. And like I said before, I don't think I feel like there is like leading up to that big conflict, we already kind of had these thoughts to ourselves, but we just never voiced it out. And I think at that point, the question was really sitting in my head for a good 10 minutes. I was like, is this a good time to bring it up? Like, should I bring it up? And then I think because there was like alcohol and we're all just kind of a little more drunk. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna bring it up now. And then that just spun into like was it like 3, 4, 5 hour conversation?
Just get you a Jam is what our answer is. Get you someone who will bring it up because if it was just me and Sharon, I don't think we would have.
Okay, but also, I mean, like, and honestly, from my perspective, it's not like I'm a person that likes to bring things up because it's like you have to, but also you eventually get tired of it when you constantly feel like that. Oh, you're the one like bringing it up. You almost kind of sometimes feel like, oh shit, am I the one that's like always? Why am I always the one creating these like conversations? These, I guess, uncomfortable conversations. You know.
That's not true, though. That's not how me and Sharon see it. I'd be like, oh, I'm glad she brought it up so that we talked about it. Because in my head, it wouldn't have been something that I think was worthy of bringing up. But now that we did, it's for the better. I feel like if you trust your group of friends, there's not really much that you should be scared of bringing up. You know, bring it up, see where the conversation goes. Maybe it's for the better.
I think it's also like the more intimate conversations you have, obviously you guys get closer, but the more uncomfortable conversations that you guys have, it also brings you guys closer because it creates like a new level of comfortness with each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Next question is, have you ever been angry/upset at another but never said anything? All the time, bro.
Oh, really? Like what?
Okay, no, I'm just kidding. But no, sometimes like if you know that the other person or other people in the group are just like off, you can tell or something, but like we don't say anything. We're just like, ah.
Oh, I thought it was like about us. Like you being upset about us two or us two about the other person.
I think that's what Sharon means.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I mean.
an example, like if I'm like really pissed off about something, and it's like it's very apparent on my face, but I'm not address it. Neither do you guys like address it. We just kind of let it like slide off, or like for me to blow my steam off.
But when has that happened and we don't address it?
We never do. For example, if we get in a call and I expect everyone to be on the same wavelength or same mood, but for example, not saying in particular, I'm just saying for example, like if I can tell that Jam's in a bad mood, it can throw the mood off, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not gonna be like, Jam, get your shit together, like stop being
That's true.
like
yeah.
moody. Like, and then there's like me too sometimes when like I'm also just like more dead, like you guys don't say anything because everyone has good and bad days and we just,
That's true. When you say it like that, we've had that. But it's never like a serious enough thing for us to be like, this is bad, you know?
I mean, I feel like the things that leading up to the big conflict that we had, like just talking about like the vision of our podcast, is like if we didn't have that conversation, we would have never knew like how different our vision of the podcast was. Like we would have just completely left it in there and just did what we all thought the other person wanted to do, even though we weren't satisfied or we weren't happy with it. But we're like, okay, we'll just do it because that's what like the other person want to do. Just try everything out. But that's not necessarily like what I want to do. And if sometimes that actually goes against one person's morals or values. I think the most serious conflicts we really ever had was regarding the podcast stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a question that's, are there any interests that one or two of you don't share with the others?
The first one that I could think off the top of my head is rock climbing.
Or just like hikes, climbing, nature-y things.
Yeah, that's not something I really enjoy. I'll do it, but I never just suggest it.
I love all those things. Like sports, hiking.
I mean, I enjoy sports. You make me sound like I'm just unathletic.
No. I thought you didn't. Like if I were like, oh, let's go snowboarding, or I guess you play tennis, so that counts.
I literally texted you, oh my god, I played tennis, was so fun. I want to play tennis again. Bring your racket when you come visit me. By the way, she ignored me.
Oh shit. What the, Vicky?
I respond sometimes. I don't. It's because like my phone is very much on do not disturb a lot of the times throughout the day now because I set all my notifications as off, and so then I like see it, but then I try not to reply so that I don't go on my phone, and then I forget, and then Jam just keeps texting, and I'm like, oh, reply to the recent ones.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
What else? I really like reading. I think Sharon's just getting into it. Jam reads like Chinese novels, but I read like a lot.
Yeah, Vicky reads a lot. Yeah, I read like 30 pages of Vicky's recommendation and I'm bored.
Was it her literary books?
Yeah, like a fiction book, and she described it in like it's a power couple and something about good smut and something, and I understand what she meant by power couple, but I was getting the vibe of like CEO and that kind of vibe, but it's the power couple in the way that like they're like Ivy League preppy competitive vibes, and I'm like that's not the power couple that I was looking for.
Yeah.
Just quit. Kiss this guy. Fine. It's fine.
I know another interest. Interior decoration.
Oh my god, yeah, Jam is
like, can you see my room? Is like very
I guess it's like aesthetics.
Oh. Dude, you guys should tell us if you can tell. Like, you guys, like the listeners, should tell us if you can tell who's posting on Awe. Because we can tell.
It's pretty obvious.
But I wonder if they know. Jem types like a 7-year-old. Bruh, sometimes the things she posts that entertains her, I'm like, I'm so happy for you, Jem.
like, which one?
Like the cup holding bear thing that you saw at a mall.
It's the small things, you know?
Yeah, agree. We're going to combine two questions. There's one that's, what do you not like about each other? And any moments you've been really frustrated with each other.
I think I know the ones that you guys have for me.
I think I know what Jam has for me.
Ooh, can you guys go first then?
I think both of you guys for me. I think we talked about this before, but how I wear the emotions on my face, whether it's happy, sad, or especially like angry or mad, is very apparent, and then it could affect everyone else in the room Or slash like I guess impatience too, which is also emotions on my face.
See, I don't think I get frustrated over that. I'm just like, I don't like the feeling that I'd have to like walk on eggshells around you when you're like that. But
Yeah.
it like doesn't frustrate me. I'm just like, oh, I don't know how to make you feel better because I know you just need space. And then whenever you like need to rant it out, you will. I think the only thing that I can think of now is just drunk Jam. Like after so many times being around Jam when she's drunk, like I'm tired of it because I'm drunk too during those times. But then it's not like something she can control, and I think she's improved a lot with it. So I'm just like, oh,
I just stopped drinking.
Well, that I think you're better at knowing what triggers you now. So then when it comes to like a drinking setting, you're way better at controlling it.
Just no hard alcohol for Jamila. Oh, what's yours for Vicky, Jam?
You want to guess, Vicky?
I'm not. I'm like, I like being at home too often.
The thing is, I mean, I think only Korea, because I think Korea, I just always want to do something. But I think if we're like in the US and stuff, or if we're like actually living together, I think it's like fine. But I think I was just like in a very like, oh, I want to do things. I want to do things.
Wait, it's that?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's because we talked about it before.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is yours also just drunk Jam, Sharon?
Oh, no, Jam got it right regarding the emotions part.
Oh, maybe it might be the same for me, but me for Sharon is like she also shuts down a lot. Not like often, especially when we're in our deeper talks or more open, but there's times when it's like in the passing, or I can feel the vibe that like you want to elaborate more, but then you psych yourself out and you're like, you know what, never mind. And then you like kind of just let it drop when it comes to like certain issues that you might be going through or like things that you're experiencing. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to push you to talk about it, but it would be healthy for you too.
Oh. I was going to say that similarly for you, but also my other thing was like sometimes you're very lax. Like I want you to have an opinion. I think the biggest thing is that I could put an example to is maybe sometimes podcasts when like we ask about something and you're always chill with whatever. But I'm like, are you actually chill with it, or do you have an opinion, or like I would like you to have an opinion kind of thing? And you don't a lot of the times. I'm like
I just don't have an opinion. I'm like, okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, me for Sharon?
Sure.
It's not really like how to explain it. I guess it's more like maybe like my frustration for you in terms of like, oh, I know you have like all these goals that you want to achieve or like all these vision, but then sometimes maybe it's the procrastination that gets to you, and then like it just really like lags behind.
Yep.
Or like things just are very like I'm like, I don't know how to explain it.
I know how you're saying.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things I say I need to do and then I don't do it.
Yeah, kind of like that. It's not like my dislike for you. It's just like, I guess my frustration for you, because I'm like, oh, I know you could do all these things and you want to achieve all these things.
Yeah, my mom said that to me today, and that triggered the shit out of me. No, I understand it though. Wow, I did not expect that. That's a good one, Jam. Thanks. Okay, remaining friend question is who's the mom of the friend group?
Sharon, Vicky, depending on situations. Definitely not me. I don't think
I think Sharon. I wouldn't say I'm a mom at all. I'm not a very caring person.
I'm good at helping other people. I'm not good at helping myself.
I'm good at helping myself. I'm not good at helping other people.
Whoa, that's so interesting.
Dude, I'm clocked out of life. That's literally like, I don't know what else to say besides that.
Dude, this shit will always be so funny to me because, okay, we can laugh about it now, right? And Vicky claims she doesn't remember this happened. But at Head in the Clouds, when we had that argument or whatever, like if you know, you know, you listen to it in one of our other episodes, but we had like a relatively like our first fight or whatever. And then there was a period where Vicky's like shut off moment, like her brain was shut off. And then Jam was worried that Vicky ran off and like had like an anxiety attack or something. So when Vicky came back, Jam was just like, I was so worried about you, and Jam started crying. And then Jam was just standing there crying, and Vicky was just looking at her. And I was like, bro, you fucking bitch. So I went up to Jam and was like, I hugged her and I was like, it's okay. And I was like, Vicky, you suck.
It's okay. I like half remember this.
Oh, it's funny.
The next question is, has working together on the podcast impacted your friendship in both good and bad?
I think it's more so good for sure. I mean, they always say working with your best friends is a double-edged sword, which is obviously very true, because it's great that you guys are so familiar with each other that you guys get to work on a project together, but sometimes it's hard to draw the lines between friends and quote unquote business partners. But I think we're in a learning progress, but we're definitely, getting better at it, working as friends and business partners. And to me, like the best impact that we have is just that the podcast really made us grow stronger in our friendship, really got to know each other, and really kind of proved that trios work.
I would say, like, strictly friendship wise, it's helped us grow a lot in good ways because we communicate better. We actually learn more about each other through certain topics that we decide to talk about. So, individually and friendship wise, yes. I think the only thing is in the future, and even like just a little bit now, I think it's gonna be hard, like what Jam said about business wise, because we're all at the end of the day three very different individual people. So, when it comes to like working with other businesses or like clients or whatever, like I think there's gonna be clashes here and there, and I think that's where we'll have our biggest challenges.
At least we're acknowledging it now so that we know for future.
I think one more to add to that is that I think I learned a lot from like our friendship and like how to be a friend or even just how to open up more. Because before this, I was a person that really didn't open up until I had like my crime bursts. But now I think I feel a lot more comfortable kind of having deeper conversations with newer people that I meet. So I feel like what I learned and how to be a friend, like that really carried over on how I meet new people and how to build a friendship with those people too.
You know what I would say is maybe a bad thing for other people? At this point, we've always been really close, but again, podcast we just like got even closer. But there's like no filter and no boundary between us. Where sometimes like Jam and Vicky know everything about my life. Where like, sometimes it involves other people, and then when those other people are like, "Wait, Jam and Vicky know," I'm like, "Oh."
No,
Is that
you just lie.
sorry?
You lie at that point. You're like, no. It's like those TikToks where it's like, oh, you're not going to tell anybody, right? And they're like, yeah, yeah. And then suddenly the boyfriend or like a bestie pops out in the background. But like one more person knows. But who are we going to tell? Nobody.
Yeah.
All right, now with the friendship questions out of the way, thanks for your questions on Instagram. We're just gonna do some general life updates, not only for the podcast, but for us, because we really haven't really talked to each other almost for the past month. Like we know what each other is doing, but like in details, not as much, or really like how we're feeling, if there's anything to share in that way. Just because I think some of us going through some big changes. So yeah, we're just gonna do some life updates.
Jamila moved to LA.
Yeah.
Wait, they don't know that, right?
No. Well, Discord people know. But yeah, new background. I'm moved to LA. My room actually looks like a guy's room. I think it's because my blanket is
it's your
completely blue.
blanket. It looks like a guy's blanket.
And I have like this messy pile of clothes kind of in the back with a lamp that literally looks like a stack of like boxers that a guy would put next to their bed.
Big moves. Why'd you move to LA?
Okay, so like, why are you in LA?
Well, I moved to LA because of my work. They basically wanted me going to the office. So yeah, that's why I'm in LA. This was kind of the push I think I needed to just go somewhere new, because if I didn't have this, I was just still been at home and probably rotting my soul away.
You know how you were worried that like if you like the expectation was really high and like what if it didn't live up to it? But so far, I mean, it's only been like 3 weeks, but do you think you feel more free?
Dude, I think I told you guys there's some moments where I just come back home or walk into my room, I just smile. Like for absolute no reason. I just smile because just the feeling of like this is my personal space. So this just feels like so much freedom.
It's nice.
Damn.
I'm happy for you, Jam.
Same, man.
Sharoni, what are your life updates?
I quit my job.
Did we ever fully announce that? No, huh? We never did.
Yeah, remember all the times I talked about quitting my job? Yeah, I finally did it.
How long have you quit
Yay.
your job?
A month. So it's been good, but then now it's just the concern of obviously like me needing to find a job and stuff. And because I just told my parents or like my family literally yesterday, and it's like what you would imagine Asian responses to be, not the best. So I think now it's just gonna have to be like knowing at the end of the day I made the right decision, but needing to like prove them. But also I know like the market is not that great, but well, whatever.
Don't think about it.
And also I'm gonna have to go home and yeah, that's my update. We'll see how home is. I already know it's going to be terrible for my mental health, but in terms of like me getting my shit together, I think it will actually be really good for me. And I'm actually really sad that I'm leaving Seattle.
The place or the people?
Both. Well, like, I don't think I would consider staying here long term, but at the end of the day, it was a different environment and I did get to live by myself and like I did get to enjoy things I normally wouldn't. And just like seeing everyone move out in the next 5 days and then it'll be me, like it's just kind of like crazy that I've been here for over a year. So that's another thing. Oh, Vicky came to visit me in Seattle. I don't know if she liked it. I also feel like we did do a lot, but also didn't do shit. So, Vicky, you tell me how that was for you. I also turned 24. It was like the most chill day I've ever had in my life. And then we also saw Lauv.
Oh my God, that was
freaking
really good,
amazing. Yeah. Oh my God, wait, this was funny. While Vicky was here, we just realized how toxic we were to each other.
Oh yeah, we're not good for each other. We're Christina Yang and Meredith Grey.
No, we're just two Christina Yangs.
Yeah, from Grey's Anatomy.
Can you please elaborate?
It's like we're both so negative about life that when we're together, we're just like, yeah, like let's just die. Like it's fine. And then we just egg each other on. So it's healthy because it's like relatable, but it's not healthy because we're just gonna stay in this down bad.
Yeah.
Can you guys give like an example?
Like fucking Sharon was like, you know, if you died, obviously I'd be really fucking sad, but I'd also be really happy because you get what you want. And I'm like, relatable. I would say the same shit to Sharon.
No, I didn't say I would be happy for you. It was
Yes,
like
you did.
as much as it would no, it's like as much as it would be really sad, a part of me would be at peace knowing that like you wanted to go and like you got to go.
Toxic sisters, man. I was like, oh shit, that's
Like
like
fine, I swear.
yeah.
Vicky, your turn.
My life has been the same. I've just been hopping around. Don't know if we talked about it. I went to New York for a couple weeks before I went to Seattle. That's really fun. I want to move to New York, but I don't think that's in my plan for a while. At least like committing to a full year or 2-year lease. One, because New York is so ridiculously expensive. I cannot believe rent prices and like living expenses there. But also I just like, I don't know, I just feel like it's not my time to move yet. I would be down to like sublease for a couple months if anything. But yeah, I had a blast in New York and then I went to Seattle to visit Sharon before she moved out. And I did have fun. I feel like my whole purpose for Seattle was just see Sharon in her environment before she moved out. And it was fun. We did do a lot, but also did not do a lot. I met all of Sharon's friends and they were all really nice.
Well, here's the end of our season 2, kind of talking about our friendship after working together for almost 2 years now, as well as answering some of the questions that you guys had about our friendship and just kind of some general life updates because a lot of things have been happening. Hopefully, next time when we see you again for season 3, a lot of things have changed for the better, more so for me and Sharon. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this season. As always, we'll still be active in like Discord, Instagram. Yeah.
Thank you. We love you.
Thanks for all the support and we'll see you guys next season.
Bye.
Bye.